What's going on YouTube? This is going to be a quick one on gates. People ask me all the time, how do gates work? Are gates trash? Are gates good? Blah, blah, blah. I think gates are a very good unit if you can play in a lead, right? You need to have either a lot of income to make gates really worth doing, or you need to have a lead to the point where your saving, etc., is not going to be too detrimental. At the end of the day, gates are a good unit, but need to be used correctly. People often ask me, though, what are good options to utilize with gates for auras? Now, somebody from chat, Flies GT, I believe. Yep, Flies GT, dropped me a thing a couple days ago, which you can see in front of you, that just shows you how long it takes for everything to get, how many times a gate will spawn and how long it takes to get the spawns out. So with a base gate, 35 seconds to get all 5 spawns out. With a gate plus magician is 32. Starcaller is 30. Starcaller plus magician is 27. Ocean Templar is not actually infinite, but it does go for an extended period of time, and I'm not sure exactly how many it will pop out by itself. Ocean Templar and gate pops out a couple more, obviously, as you can see, being at 9, in 60-ish seconds. So you get quite a bit of value out of it if you just even look at just base gates, right, with Magician or Ocean Templar. The other option you have as well are APS, which you can up, which also will upgrade the Hellgate. You can also do a Butcher inside of it. That will upgrade the... It makes it so that the spawned units heal. And with an upgraded Butcher, the spawned units are going to sustain themselves a lot longer, especially in battle. I would recommend, if you're not going to do... If you don't have like a Starcaller or something of the sort, I think Butcher is probably the most beneficial thing on gates. Gates' biggest weakness is its units are going to basically slowly kill themselves, right? They just, over time, they negate, their health slowly falls down, which makes it easier for them to get killed. But if you have something like Head Chef on them, they stay alive a lot longer. And I can try to do like wave 16, right? Let's just do a quick guide, a demo of what I mean by that. So we're just going to do... We're going to do something that's really tanky for 16, but bad in terms of damage, right? And we're just going to try to give it as much fodder as possible. So that, I think this is enough value for 16. You can see what I mean by the gates are surviving for an extended period of time. Right? So you'll see they're already taking damage. They slowly take damage over time because they're gates. They slowly deteriorate. But with the Butcher on them, they stay almost full HP the entire time, making their backline spawns a lot stronger, making their frontline spawns be quite good as well. So I would recommend probably doing Butcher on your gates if that's your only option. If you have an option outside of Starcaller, right? You do have the ability to go White Mane as well, which makes it so it gets, I think, 1 or 2 more spawns out, and also gives the spawns more health, more resistance. So you can always do like White Mane in the center where the Butcher is, and that's another good option. The big thing though is with gates, you need a lot of them, right? Traditionally, if you're using gates and you've got, you know, a handful of them out and you've got a good tank line, just keep placing gates. If you had something like this where you had White Mane and a Butcher, I would maybe recommend going like this then on the flip side of it. Do these guys upgraded and then do your White Mane in here. So you have 2 of your gates that have the bonus healing. Also now our White Mane. You could even do that up front as well. So you can do something like this, where you do White Mane here, and do a White Mane circle. This gives someone a ton of late game scale, and it makes them really, really tough to beat. These units now are going to be nigh unkillable. So we'll do another big send. We have enough value for 21 or something right now. It's a general guide, not on how much value you need on 16, but at showing what gates are good with. So we can do just, I'm going to do a bunch of units. Just to show like how long certain units survive, etc. I think this should hold 21, but we'll see. And it's a 3,000 send. You'll notice that the one has 10% plus 5, as well as healing. It makes it a very strong unit. I think this will leak just because there's so many freaking units. But anyway, the idea is still generally the same. You make the gates stronger, gates are better. It's just a general consensus. You make the gates stronger, the gates are better. But keep placing them. You want more and more and more and more gates. Don't ever stop placing gates. Good question though from chat, from Maniac. When do you upgrade the gates or you just keep placing them? If you have the available gold to upgrade the gate, it is almost always going to be better to upgrade versus just place more. The upgraded unit does a lot more damage, a lot more tank, and are just going to sustain better once you get a bunch of gates going. It's almost always beneficial to go more of a spawn unit upgraded than do just a bunch of the base ones. And then a question at the end from Pudding Guy. What can you do to counter them? Oh. I gotta clear this quick. So a big counter to gates is realistically things like witches, and then things like centaur, things like imps. It depends on when in the game you're getting the send, right? The frontline imps deal impact, the backline imps deal magic. So you need to play around that, right? Upgraded gates do not spawn units faster. I believe it's actually slower, but the unit they spawn is more beneficial. So 30 mana versus a 50 mana. I think the upgraded gates are slower, but for the most part, when you want to send, so let's say we're going to, I don't know, wave 17. I'm trying to give an example where the wave is not going to just get insta-gibbed, but also I can show what you can send to stop it. So if we do like 8 witches and then a bunch of snails on wave 17, right? I think this might hold even still, but the witches give you Froggos. The witches give you Froggos, which deal more damage as more of them get spawned, right? Which gives you some scalability in the same way gates will scale with their spawns. Froggos can be pretty decent to just kind of go around it. But for the most part, you need to try to send on a wave they're weak more often than not. So if you can send on wave 19, wave 19 is a pretty good wave to send. I'll do the same thing. Mass Froggos and then a single Shaman. Mass Witches, I should say, with a single Shaman. You're sitting in a pretty good position because the gates are weak on wave 19, right? It's more about countering them in terms of when to send, not what to send. Don't let a person with gates get to late game. You want to starve them if possible, right? If they can get to late game, it makes it a lot harder to beat them. But you can see with this combo, we are very, obviously, way overvalue here. But with this combo, even if, as Froggos keep spawning, the healing keeps keeping everything alive. The Nightcrawlers that don't have healing are still staying at a decent health pool because of the Antler. They're an all-around really good unit. Would Gate Opener be a troll? I would say yes. Gate Opener is a troll. What's better late? Gates or Lords of Death? That's a tough one. I think gates have more like sustainability, but Lords of Death I think are probably better DPS. But gates in general are a win more unit, as my chat likes to call it. It's a unit that once you get a ton of and you're already in the lead, it's going to allow you to almost guaranteed win the game. You do need to keep in mind though, you do need tanks to keep them alive. You do need some type of aura or something to help sustain them. You can always do something as simple as like a Desert Pilgrim near them will give them more health. It's not a lot of health, but it might make them do an extra spawn or two. Like there's options all around, but gates in general are a win more unit. The more gates you place, the longer you hold. It's definitely a late game unit though, more than it is an early. Hope this video helps you guys. I get this question a lot though about gates. I hope that this overview gives you some idea of how to use gates, what's good with gates, what's not. And yeah, if you have questions, feel free to keep asking, guys. Put them in the comments, and I'll try to do my best to explain things through text or what have you. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.